foremost Nigerian stand-up comedian, Atoyota Akpobome, popularly known as Ali Baba, on Sunday sent a strong message to Pastor Enoch Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, over coronavirus disease infections in Nigeria. Ali Baba also addressed the message to the President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Pastor Samson Ayokunle, pleading with the clerics who have been tackling billionaire philanthropists, Bill Gates, on how COVID-19 has fared in Africa to stand down. The popular comedian, in a 4-part message shared on his Instagram page, said while he understood the imperatives of the self-defensiveness of this pastor, he wished they would just sit this one out, further stressing that the COVID-19 is real. He stated that what Bill Gates is pondering is what scientists are supposed to do, and that as a continent, Africa too should be looking for answers, not reducing things to God. Ali Baba also lamented the unavailability and the hoarding of oxygen at COVID-19 treatment centers, only to produce them when the lives of powerful people or the lives of their friends are at stake. In part 1 of Ali Baba's message, said, last week, the death of Nigeria's first professor of criminology, Femi Odekunle, was announced. Odekunle was also a member of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption. At first, his demise was slung on complications from the COVID-19 disease until a more detailed report narrated that he actually died from a lack of oxygen in the hospital facility, University Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, where he was admitted. Just a few weeks before he passed on, consultant neurosurgeon Professor Matthias Nandi of the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital also died of what was described as an acute exacerbation of asthma, one of the few experts in his field that Nigeria could boast of. Nandi tested positive for COVID-19, although his unfortunate death was a consequence of a lack of oxygen. These are highly unfortunate deaths, outrageous, enraging. Now, do men like this die like that? No country should lose 2 brains within the same month and in such a manner. I am by no means suggesting that their lives are worth more because of their expertise, but there is no denying that the body of knowledge they represent has a value that should not be cheaply lost. I was shocked anew when I read detailed reports of the circumstance of their death in the news. The disease that killed these people is Nigeria itself. Both men found themselves in a crisis where they could not breathe, and the oxygen supply they vitally needed could not get to them on time. Some months ago, most of us saw a video of George Floyd, a black man in the US, who was killed when a white police officer put his knee on his neck. Floyd's last words were, "I can't breathe," as life ebbed away from him. These words would become the rallying cry for protest against police brutality and racism. The protest began in Minneapolis, where the incident happened, spread around cities in the US, and would eventually be taken up in other countries worldwide. Now, when you consider the fate of Floyd along with the circumstances of the death of Odekunle and Nnadi, you realize that our Nigerian life can also be summarized with these words, "I can't breathe." In part 2, he said, to be a Nigeria is to struggle to breathe. It is to spend all your life waiting for oxygen while life slowly drains away. To be born in Nigeria is to spend your entire life trying to respire as you struggle against your leader's knees pressed against your neck. I can't breathe is the one essential Nigerian story. There is not enough oxygen for us to breathe. We live out our lives wheezing and gasping for some air to invigorate our lungs. Beyond even the metaphor of the seized breath is the literalness of the difficulty of breathing. Virtually every Nigeria is condemned to inhale generator fumes along with the putrid smells of filthy drainage where trash, human waste and wasted humans simultaneously decay. In the case of Odekunle, we were told that his friends in high places, governors, ministers, and other big men tore through bureaucracies to get oxygen cylinders to him. The efforts of these friends, according to a report by Premium Times, eventually yielded about 170 oxygen cylinders, but the items arrived too late. Some of these friends even arranged a special helicopter to ship the oxygen cylinders to Abuja. You read all of their efforts to save the professor, and you are twice ashamed to be a Nigerian. The Nigerian ruling class is a disaster through and through, a monumental disgrace. They will not commit to organizing a society where process work autonomously and efficiently, only to run around to procure life-saving equipment for dying friend or their dying friend. In his part 3 of his message, he said, in Nigeria, we run a nefarious system where powerful people hoard life-giving supplies only to produce them when their lives or the lives of their friends are at stake. These self-centered Nigeria leaders steal and hoard only to dispense those same resources among their clique. Who knows how many poor Nigerians have died within the same period because they did not have powerful friends to tear through red tapes and get special helicopters to fly oxygen cylinders while they struggled to breathe. For these friends to successfully mobilize so many oxygen cylinders, the issue could not have been a shortage as much as it was about inefficiently. How did it happen that a whole teaching hospital in the nation's capital would run out of oxygen, yet they could somehow gather that many supplies for one person? It says a lot about the kind of country we run when a teaching hospital situated in a place like the FCT would run out of something as basic as oxygen. It means all the powerful people that live in the nation's capital had no plan to patronize the place, and they could care less what that facility lacked. If they fall sick, it is easier for them to travel abroad than to go to Gwagwalada. With all the events of the past year, one would have imagined our leaders would be putting some thought into organizing a functioning society. The value of our lives should not be calibrated on this unsustainable man-no-man arrangement where public facilities are allowed to decay and you have to rely on your social networks to find oxygen to breathe. Unfortunately, Nigeria leaders are too callous to bother. Last June, Governor Adeboye Oyetola of Osun State lost his aid to a sickness. In his lamentation of his aide's fate, Oyetola ruled the COVID-19 travel restrictions that hindered them from flying the aid out of the country for treatment. That unreflexive attitude is typical behavior of Nigerian leaders. They have no intention of building functional public facilities. Theirs is just to corner resources for no higher purpose than preserving their own lives in the expense of others. Their wickedness is why we cannot breathe. In part 4 of his message, he said, on a final note, I also want to plead Nigerian clerics who have been tackling billionaire philanthropist Bill Gates on how COVID-19 has failed in Africa to stand down. After Bill Gates noted that the prediction about Africa on COVID-19 has not come, some men of God jumped at him as if he is the one responsible for our problems in Africa. The president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Samson Ayokunle, replied that even though Africans are technologically poor, we are beneficiaries of God's mercy. Pastor Enoch Adeboye too stated that we have no money, we have no resources, but we have God. While I understand the imperative of the self-defensiveness of these pastors, I wish they would just sit this one out. Each time these pastors use God to block off legitimate questions, their Nigerian followers take up the refrain, thinking they are stinking it up with Bill Gates, a man who can afford not to notice their existence. What Bill Gates is pondering is what scientists are supposed to do. As a continent, we too should be looking for answers, not reducing things to God. A race of people who cannot be bothered to find answers to such germane questions will forever be dependent on other races for survival. Bringing up God as if he is a tool that is you uniquely available to Africans is not even helpful when they ultimately achieve it to provide a moral cover for sadistic and thieving politicians who hide oxygen and watch Nigerians struggle to breathe. It is quite incorrect for pastors to say we have no money, we have no resources, we are technologically deficient, as if such helplessness is our destiny. No, no, sirs. We do not lack resources. We are being robbed of the chances to build capacity by our inept leaders. Look at the number of people we have lost to COVID-19 and the circumstances in which some of them, including these two eminent professors, died. And ask yourselves if that is what God's mercy is all about. Please stop using God to foreclose legitimate questions. Let's face the bitter truth of Nigeria's situation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether this Ali Baba, whether he has faced the same thing, because I was hearing, I don't know, I can't really pinpoint whether he had he was infected with COVID-19 or whatever, because for him to be speaking like this, he must have been touched. Something must have happened in his presence. These are the things that we know all of every day. It baffles me. You will see them. You will see doctors. You will see engineers. You will see caliber. They have this degree. They have this His Excellency, Honorable, this and that, Your Excellency, double, all of those titles. That's what I'm talking. Oh, Doctor, Mrs. Pastor, Doctor, Mrs. Professor, this, Professor, that. We have all of them. Oh, at times I just wonder, and I just be looking at them. So, of what use for having these people? Of what? So, Ali Baba, you want to tell me that they don't know? You want to tell me even the Nigerians that are suffering, you want to tell me they don't know? You don't want to tell me that we don't know? Any little thing, they are off abroad. They are in abroad. Now, some people were making some kind of maybe some rumors going around that Tinubu is infected with COVID-19. Oh, the media aide, who is Raman Sunday, came out and said, no. His boss is not in France, he's in London. Good and fine. We wish him good health. Those who are carrying rumors. But what I'm bringing out is that any little thing, they have private jets, they are dead. They are already outside the country. Article 2, show up. People say, oh, they should not even, why are they bothering themselves about Article? He has the money and all of that. Apart from that, these are old people that ought to know better at this age and time, at this point, yet it does not bother them. Oh, I'm talking about Tunde, what is this one? Tinubu. I'm talking about Atiku. What of the president? If he has, is it not the same thing? If he has opportunity to go to UK, or maybe he just wants to go and check his temperature, just to check, to check his general well-being, we wish him good health. Just to check, of course, it is normal to do that. PM is in London. So what do you say about that? And I was bittered. I've been bittered in my mind that even when the president was sick, it would have been an opportunity or an avenue for him to be able to say, if it is only this one I'm going to do, so that I would let there be a befitting hospital, world-class hospital. Let us even build it. We don't even need to build it to even start to say we want to build it. Equip it. We already have all of those things in place, just to equip them. That even people who are going abroad will not even have time to go in the first place. We all know all of this, but where do we start from? You'll be hearing timber and caliber for beautiful nonsense. Doctor, Mrs., Doctor, Mr., Doctor, this, Professor, this, Archbishop, Doctor, Professor. His Excellency, Honorable, Double Excellency. That is how they love all those titles. What do they think with their head? Me, I don't even know. I don't even know. You see Okonjo Wahala there now. He came 2 times, finance minister. Yet, nothing still happened. Don't see it happen. Some people tell you, oh, maybe some people try to, they didn't even want her to work. That being fine. That being said. But what of the ones we have here? What do they do there? We have son. We have professor. See the professor, Yemi Osinbajo. What do they even do? What are they doing there? Is it just to mark time? What are they doing? Who are the principalities in human form? We are even talking about the politicians. And that's why this man is talking about, Ali Baba is saying, everything, you want to spiritualize everything. No, let us even sit down. You not go out, you not walk. God will do it. God will do it. Last week, a woman, an American lady, saying that we produce all pastors. What do we produce? Nothing. If you see their congregation, all of them have private jets. So the people who are even suffering, they are the ones that will make excuses. Hey, touch not my anointed. Let my prophet do. What do they? Touch not my touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. This and that. Oh, you are jealous. Oh, you are angry with God. This and that. Hell! You see how they have fed them. Oh my goodness. How they have fed them with all manner of doctrines. All manner of useless doctrines. This man is saying, let us ask simple questions, because he's giving room for all these people to continue to misbehave. It is God. It is. Why should we be so? Why should it be so? Now, all of them, they are talking about vaccine now. Are they not going to take vaccine? Who is producing it? What? See, Dr. Morris Iwu is saying that he has his own that is very, very effective. See, he's been crying since last year. Nobody listened to him. Nobody listened to him. He's coming out again. Now they are running a task to go and get billions, trillions to go and get this whole thing. I don't want to talk much. We all know what has been happening. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Really unfortunate. See, these are the people we are talking about. Someone is saying, oh, real comedian, face your presidents and leaders. They are fed. Leave real men of God. They are the lights in this, what they have reduced the nation to. And somebody now say, do you have brain at all? You are one of the people he was talking about. They will still make excuses for them. They are suffering, all of them. They have been praying from now to eternity. Why is it that God has not answered their prayer? Suffering. Even the ones that will be binding demon. Die. Go and see their lifestyle. Check how they are living. God is a principled God. Our God is a principled God. There's some things that you need to do. He has given us power, and I've been saying it. He has given us power to do a lot of things. Our power, the power he has given us is limited. Then when we are tired, when we must have done what we need to do, then we call on him. Everything revolves around God. So nobody should come and be boboing that you don't know God. You will know God. How your life has been. Those who don't know God, you are always referring to them. Oh, you like the way they are doing. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. A lot of people are twisting the Bible upside down. See what this one is saying. Now so they build. Now so they are like. They're not going to let you talk. Hey, this and that. Leave them. It's talking about all of them together. All of them together. It's unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate.